Welcome along to another look at the world of gaming. It got pretty heated last week with that kind of debate on computers versus consoles. Let's see what we can come up with this week on Game On as we welcome along, as ever, Samit. Nice to see you again.
Always good to be here.
And Fifi Prosper.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, new hairstyle this week.
Yeah, always.
Is it making you play better games?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm in character.
Good stuff. We're going to be looking at some of the new releases, also the latest gaming news, and of course you, very important to our listeners. Any questions that you might have or opinions on the games that we talk about, you're most welcome to send them along to 4001. Top 10 as well. What's been selling? What have we been buying? And what have we been playing? What have you been playing of late?
Well, before I get into all that, can I just say one thing? Can I just say how amazing Game On has been for so long? We've been doing this show for so many years so far. We've got Lloyd and Lumber from Entertainment Today, who's been doing an excellent job at it. We got myself on board doing this as well. And apparently a lot of fans out there have already named me Sumit the Game Master.
The Game Master.
Okay. And
like a boss.
And then obviously we've got Arab world's favorite girl gamer, Fifi Prosper, on our show. I mean, you can't find a better gaming show anywhere.
We're a great
She can be the game mistress, I think.
We literally got the #1 gaming show in the Middle East. And right now what I'm going to talk about is that I've been playing a lot of iPhone games out there. And one game that I've really fell in love with, and I know that a lot of people have cheated in this game, is Pop Icon Quiz or Icon.
Oh, yeah, I've been playing. Is that the one with the shapes?
With the shapes and pictures. And I must say that it's really picked up on me. And like some of the drawings have been great. Some of the wallpapers have looked awesome.
Is it like Draw Something?
Well, no. What it is actually, it's an iPhone game, and I believe it's out for Android as well. And what you do is that it sends you little caricatures of famous people or TV characters or movies or scenes from movies, and you have to guess from the picture which movie or character or famous person it is.
Oh, wow.
Like they would show a picture of a sunset with rays coming out.
Okay.
And that's actually the poster of Barack Obama. Of when he said it's time for a change.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. And they showed the picture of Silence of the Lambs. So obviously Hannibal Lecter would be the character from the movie, and so on and so forth. And
is it free?
It's a totally free app,
nice.
and it's very
I like
nice.
free games.
So much, and it's a lot of fun. It's got so many levels, and it constantly keeps growing, and like it's so much fun. And even now that Christmas just went by, they had the season box of all Christmas-related movies and famous people on.
Nice.
So I thought that's just great to see something like that.
I've been on Temple Run too, honestly, like since they've updated.
I've been playing that as well.
It's so addictive. It's like, all right, just one more quick run, you know.
One more objective.
Yeah, one more objective needs to be checked off.
Tell me
before
what kind of scores you're hitting.
I'm hitting, I'm barely just getting to the blue diamonds.
Okay.
So I'm hitting I think the 6,000 mark, maybe 7,000, but that
really,
yeah, like I think.
Wow.
I'm working on visual memory here. Right. I remember a 6 being somewhere in my score.
It might be 60,000. But yeah, great game. I've been playing that as well, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, maybe 60,000 might be
a top game. Temple Run 2. Listeners, if you've got any really good tips for games that you can play on your portable devices, on your iPhones and iPads, send them along to 4001. We'd love to know what they are and give them a blast.
I do want to touch on a quick topic. Grammys went by last night. Unfortunately, best soundtrack or best, I think, sound for a visual media that went out there. Journey, the ever so popular video game by Sony Entertainment, was nominated. Unfortunately, did not win. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo took that nomination.
What a shame, eh?
It is a shame.
Like,
and I must say that although the music from Girl with the Dragon Tattoo was incredible music, it's just amazing to see that the soundtrack of a video game made it that far.
It was the first time in history as well.
Well, actually, it was the first time a soundtrack was nominated.
Yeah, a soundtrack.
Otherwise, Civilization 4 for the song of Baba Yetu from Civilization 5.
Okay.
Christopher Tin won the actual Grammy for Best Sound. And so see a soundtrack of a video game being put up there, it goes to show you where the Grammys are moving to. It shows that the video game industry is pushing its way to the music industry in a much hardcore professional way.
Thank the Lord for that.
Absolutely. Okay, so as I said, 4001 for your top games on the mobile devices. We'll get stuck in, though, to our first game. I see this one comes from Sega, PS3, Xbox 360. What's this one all about?
Aliens Colonial Marines. And I must say, this is quite a scary game. 18 rated for all the parents out there. And I must... One of the things about this game, obviously, if you follow the franchise of Aliens, which is James Cameron's famous movie project that has come back in the days, and especially with Prometheus that just came out. The franchise picks up either as a first-person shooter where you can either decide to play as the human element of walking around and beating the aliens or anything, or in this case takes a complete vice versa turn and play as the aliens who go after the humans.
Which one would you do?
I would actually pick the aliens. I think I would want to know their storyline.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I choose to be the aliens too.
This seems to be becoming quite a trend, Fifi, now, doesn't it? Where you can choose which side, let's say, you want to be on. And that's kind of a phenomenon that's just crept in over the last couple of years.
Absolutely, because it just gives players much more flexibility in the kind of story they want to go through. And definitely this is becoming more popular with games, and we're going to be seeing much more of it.
Do you want to be a good guy? Do you want to be a bad guy? That's the bottom line.
I think personally that everybody, games from back in the day, everybody was always a good guy.
Right.
So I think being the bad guy now, especially with such a franchise like Aliens, like I would definitely want to be the alien.
It's a
going after
definitely
humans.
change of character. So yeah.
You said is this actually based on the movie?
This is actually based on a sub-story of the franchise. So it's not actually a direct intervention of a particular movie, but it follows like the same kind of idea where the aliens are from, where the humans are from, and so forth. It doesn't actually pick up anywhere as part of the alien storyline or from the movie storyline. But one of the things you're going to see about this is great first-person shooter and an amazing collector's edition, I must say, where you actually get these Marines standing on top of an alien statue and trying to shoot him down and so forth. And it's actually quite a unique looking figure, about 11 inches tall, and just looks great to have in your living room.
Yeah,
especially if you're an Aliens fan.
We're going to be actually at Region 2, we're going to be giving away some limited edition copies of the game in a contest soon. So tune in to www.youtube.com/the Region 2 show if you want to enter that competition soon.
Jason, you're our movie guy, and of course Alien, that was a real kind of way ahead of its time kind of movie. Sigourney Weaver, wasn't it, with that film, and quite scary back then.
I think it was one of the most scariest movies around. I think it was not even seeing the monster for a certain while. I think it was the most devastating looking thing I've ever seen. I mean, all the acid, dripping down through. I mean, even if you got away from the, any second he was going to join you on the next floor, because all he had to do was spit and make a hole and come down.
Yeah, that's it.
I think, now I don't know how many they made. Was it 4? Sigourney Weaver.
Well, if you count Prometheus, then it's 5.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, it's 5. 5.
Okay.
But I think. What about you guys? Would you say, I mean, from a monster point of view, I mean, Predator was one thing. That was quite scary. But Alien, really, I mean, my goodness.
Aliens, I can't help but get a shiver down my spine every time I think about being trapped on a spaceship with the aliens, or being on the same planet with them, or being in the same, area with them altogether. So it's really gets my skin crawling.
I won't deny the fact that Aliens 2, like Aliens the plural, was probably the most scariest movie I've probably one of my favorite scary movies I've ever seen. And I don't particularly like scary movies, but I actually sat down through this one, and I must say Sigourney Weaver was an incredible actress during that moment.
I think also,
Ripley.
The creation really of the monster. I mean, what a mastermind to actually, what's in somebody's mind to actually sort of think up something like that. I mean, if you got scared with Jaws in the James Bond movie, I mean, this one got like Jaws after Jaws after Jaws.
Yeah. I think what makes this movie or franchise really scary is because at that time there wasn't CG, there wasn't like animated stuff. It was all like costumes and props and everything. So the real effect to it came to the audience where like, that looks pretty real, so it could actually be real.
What an icon of sci-fi to have lasted all these years and to be growing a bigger fan base with time. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, then let's see what the developers have got to say about this one. Is the game available yet?
The game will be out as of tomorrow.
All right, so we're bang on, right on cue there. Tomorrow you can get this one. Aliens, Colonial Marines.
You have to be, careful and respect the authenticity of the universe. And in many regards, what's already been created gives us a lot to work with. But we've also been able to have fun adding to it. And I think the biggest advantage that this game gets, because it's Gearbox Software building it, is we're not settling. Like a lot of games based on licenses, they become kind of work-for-hire projects, just milking a franchise. When Gearbox works in other people's space, it's because we love that space and we want to. When you think about a video game manifestation of the Aliens franchise, of course, you imagine, you know, the big action scenes in Aliens, but you also think about the suspense and tension and, you know, these kind of thrilling moments that you get in the first film, Alien, or even in Alien 3. And one of the neat advantages we have in the video game is that we're not kind of confined to this 90-minute single-themed kind of storytelling presentation. We get to kind of navigate through a number of different types of tension and pacing, and we get to play with that suspense, and then we get to transition into action and kind of mingle around those areas and play with what your expectations are as you go through it. But it's kind of fun, you know, to be able to kind of do those scares and those suspense moments and have them kind of result in different points that break the tension. You break the tension in different ways, and sometimes you know, condition the customer, you know, the player with a certain pattern, and then you tweak the pattern with a surprise. And it's a lot of fun to do that. And that's, I think, one of the joys of being a designer, is trying to get into the headspace of a player and manipulate that for the purposes of entertainment, for the purposes of generating feelings. Before there was any business done, the very first thing that happened was Brian Martell, who's one of the owners of Gearbox, one of my partners, who's the director of Aliens, Colonial Marines. In 2006, I think, he sat down with Ridley Scott. And Ridley got out his original storyboards from Alien, blew the dust off of them. And a lot of people don't know this, but he's a talented artist. He draws his own storyboards. So Ridley Scott drew all these storyboards, and he's flipping through this storyboard book that he hasn't probably looked at in 15 years, you know, with Brian. And they're talking about the universe, and Brian's getting the secrets of the space jockey and all this stuff. And you know, Brian's thinking about how to scratch an itch that he's always had about the fantasy we wished we could have experienced that takes place after Aliens. And we never really got that itch scratch. You know, and Ridley, meanwhile, was, you know, his headspace was all about the universe that he created and what kind of conditions for mankind and the way we started to explore the universe and the way politics and corporations kind of mingle to kind of lead to a universe like Aliens. And that's where Ridley's headspace was. And, you know, I came out of that, and not only did we get the kind of seed that sprouted this project, but I think that's also the moment that was the seed that sprouted what became Prometheus.
Okay, looking at the world of games, and our first review, really, Aliens, Colonial Marines. Up there, available tomorrow. What kind of people are going to be buying this? As you said, it's an 18 for sure.
It's an 18 rated game. Yeah. Oh wait, there you go. I was standing in line for a game. Sorry. No, so it's an 18 rated game, and I think what you can expect are basically the strong fans of the franchise. If anything, it's been a long-awaited game. So people have been looking forward to it, and I think a lot of first-person people out there, for people who like first-person shooters, you can expect to see a lot of them behind it. Not to mention, I think, like I said, like people love aliens, and the idea of to play as an alien to go after humans in such a strong franchise. Like, I would just get it just for that.
Yeah, it attracts a huge number of people just to try that element of the game. So.
Exactly.
Do you think this is selling a lot more games now, what we were talking about before, the fact that you can choose which side of the fence you want to be on?
Absolutely. I mean, it gives much more flexibility to the player, and the player likes the option. Like, at least I'm the kind of gamer who likes the option of being good or evil, or playing this character or that, and I just appreciate the option, you know?
Fifi, you know, you have an interesting point here. I'm just going to ask this to you, our world's favorite girl gamer. Like, my question would be that, okay, you get to pick good or bad. Do you feel that you're being neglected by picking always a guy and not a girl?
Well, the way I look at it is sometimes, like, at least in this specific game, is I can either be an alien or I can either be a Marine.
Yeah.
So really, like, and when you, like, it's interesting on both levels. And when you are playing a video game, you are playing, like, you're playing the role, you know what I mean? So you're just, you dive into that universe and you forget, it transgresses that, being a female or a male, and it just transgresses even the species you are, you know what I mean? It's just being...
No, that's
diving
true.
into that world.
But irrespective of this game also, like a lot of the games, like Infamous, clear example, you know, good or bad, always a dude.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I completely.
Don't you just want to go on the internet and be like, listen, ladies, like we want a woman.
We women need to represent. You know, we us girl gamers need to have our voice heard more often, which is why I'm excited about the next game that we're talking about as well, which is StarCraft.
Yeah, I think is there a girl in that one?
Yeah, she is. It's Sarah Kerrigan, and the story revolves around her. And it's a very interesting way to see how she comes back after the first one, especially after she became a human again.
You know, I had to put a PC game up here sometime.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for that.
Okay, 4001 listeners, for any questions on the games. And something I've wanted to ask you, the environment that you play games in, does that matter? Do you like to be alone? Do you like to be the lights switched off and, very kind of... secluded, let's say?
Well, it really depends on the game. Like some games, some games require you to dive into their universe so much that you do not want to be interrupted. You do not want your phone to ring or buzz next to you or people walking by you. So definitely that seclusion helps. But there are also other games that are multiplayer that you feel that are so much more fun when you hear your friends laughing or when they're interacting with you and everyone's just enjoying themselves. What do you think, Samit?
Well, personally speaking, for me, it's like I like being secluded. Because this is like my one part of the day where I'm like, I just want to sit down, play some games.
It's just to disconnect.
Just to disconnect. I don't want to go online. I think because it's probably the field I work in, I tend to talk quite a lot. And and I think the idea is that when I want to come home and I just want to put on a game and be like, you know what, I'm in my own world. I just want to be that guy.
Yeah, I've been having that same mind frame as well recently while I've been gaming. I just want to disconnect, just leave the world I'm in and just enter a new universe.
It sounds like almost like a lot of people. You will have a day at the office and then go home, unwind and switch the TV on and watch the news or watch some television.
Yeah.
Do you do that with? Is it? Oh, I'm going to go home and unwind playing some games.
Yeah. Absolutely, because like for me, it's better than watching television because I'm using my head. I'm thinking. My processes are all working as opposed to just being the receiver of information and just being a couch potato. Like I'm interacting with the game. I'm thinking. I'm strategizing my next moves in the game, and I'm sure Samit, you agree as well.
Oh no, hands down, fully agree with that. And just the idea of just coming home and just lying on your sofa or going into your home cinema and pulling out a controller and just like relaxing and playing a simple video game.
And what about position? I mean this in the nicest possible way. Is it stretched out on the sofa? Have you got a special gaming chair?
What do you do
on the floor on cushions? I mean,
personally speaking, if I could lie on the floor on cushions, that would be like fantastic. But like I need a backrest if anything. So,
absolutely.
So I guess lying down would be the simplest choice.
For me, I'm much more of an alert gamer. So you'd find me on the tip of the couch, just like, and I'm leaning forward, so my eyes are like that far from the computer or from the TV.
So not the greatest posture, then, is it? Really?
No, because I'm always like super diving into the TV.
I think what it really depends on is the game you're playing. I think like, if you're playing like a game like Street Fighter, you're obviously gonna want to sit up and like get into it. Yeah. But if you're playing like a game like Journey, you want to like sit back and relax and just watch the entertainment go by.
Do some games actually relax you? Do they
kind
of
There's
chill you out?
Beautiful games like. The game company is famous for this. They're the ones who brought us Journey and Flower, and they're both beautiful games that just soothe you at the end of the the experience of going through the game is a very soothing experience. The music is relaxing, and just diving into that universe, it helps you unwind. It's like a form of meditation.
Session, isn't it?
It's like meditation or yoga or therapy. Just it relaxes the your brainwaves.
So you just mentioned a couple of games there. You recommend for relaxation. What
absolutely, Flower is a very good game for relaxation. Also, a game like Flow is beautiful as well. It's also by that game company.
Same company.
Flow and Flower. Start off with those.
What is it like walking through gardens and
Flower is where you control your joypad and basically you're
controlling a flower.
You're the wind, and then you pick up flowers, and you pick up petals, and
all of a sudden a giant bee comes out.
What about your most relaxing games?
I think, to be honest, my most relaxing game would have to be Street Fighter.
He's hardcore like that.
I'm hardcore like that. Like, I just like coming down and be like, you know what, I just want to beat a level, or like pull out my iPhone and play like Temple Run, or
what an addictive game,
or Angry Birds, or something like that. And like, I think these kind of games relax me more. But if I want to like really get into like a hardcore game, just for relaxation purposes, I would guess that go online on Call of Duty and just shoot some people.
Okay, 4001, your most relaxing game, or any other questions on gaming, do send them along. We're going to be coming up with our top 10 of games, what we've been buying, what we've been playing over the last week. That's on the way after the news. Game on, and time for a look at our top 10.
At number 10, it's Driver San Francisco Essential Collection for the PS3. Number 9 is Assassin's Creed 3 for the Xbox 360. Coming in at number 8 is Dance Central 3 for the Xbox 360 Kinect. At number 7, it's Far Cry 3 for the Xbox 360. At number 6, it's Assassin's Creed 3 for the PS3. At number 5, it's Call of Duty Black Ops 2 for the Xbox 360. At number 4 is Pro Evolution Soccer 2013 for the PS3. Coming in strong at number 3 is FIFA 13 for the PS3. Still staying on number 2 is Far Cry 3 for the PS3. And since November, not going anywhere, at number 1 is Call of Duty Black Ops 2 for the PS3. Oh my god.
Yeah, there it is then. No surprise, Call of Duty. It won't be moved.
Oh, my God.
It's going to take some big game.
Yeah.
Fifi, have you got any predictions as to what could dislodge Call of Duty from the top?
Let's think here.
Last of Us.
So many games come to mind. Maybe Last of Us.
Last of Us could do it.
Maybe Last of Us.
StarCraft.
Absolutely.
Right.
So many people are excited for that.
StarCraft, we'll be getting into that very shortly. Before we get looking at that, 2 football games in there. Of course, we just had the Africa Cup of Nations. FIFA and Pro Evolution both riding high. And Driver San Francisco returning.
Oh, my God. Like, FIFA before your time, I kid you not. Me and Mike Priest, for like a whole year and a half, we've been talking about this. Just sneaks its way into the top 10 list. I mean, Ken, how much are people going to drive around in San Francisco? Like, really? Oh, my God.
Well, apparently with Call of Duty, how many times are people going to go on missions and kill other people?
That's
and
true.
it's still at number 1.
That's true. That is true.
It is. Far Cry 3, the number 2 game where it was last week. But let's take a look at something that you never know, just might be able to break the mould with Call of Duty, and that's StarCraft 2. As it's got a lady hero, I think we'll go to Fifi Prosper to talk about this game.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's amazing how people are so excited for this game and how they react to StarCraft. I mean, there definitely will be a big launch event happening in Dubai. I foresee it. You know, this is a big game, big fans. A lot of people love it. And of course, it's Sarah Kerrigan. I mean, like, she's the whole game revolves around her, and she's the Queen of Blades. I mean, that's
Queen
just
of
not
Blades.
the Queen of Blades. And and it's interesting, like I mentioned earlier, to see her come back now, and especially after the first chapter when she turned into being a human again.
That's true.
Yeah,
absolutely.
True. So yeah, like, it's nice seeing. First of all, it's nice seeing a female out there, you know, especially in a male-dominated video game industry. But definitely, there's a huge fan base.
Tell us a bit
game.
about the franchise of this when it all got started.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. StarCraft is a huge franchise worldwide. It's a great real-time strategy, and everybody's who picked up a Mac or a PC just got into StarCraft, just loved the idea of actually commanding armies and so forth. And so much so that in North Korea, the first StarCraft is considered somewhat of a religion there.
Is this the one that they kind of play in stadiums?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
and they hold huge tournaments for it, like prizes of well worth over $250,000 for the first prize winner as the best StarCraft player.
It makes wasting so much time as opposed to being outside. Inside, like, it makes it worth it, I guess.
Yeah,
all those
if you can
hours
make
spent.
that kind of money, for sure.
Yeah, and you know, and these gamers, like, I would advise people who go on servers to play like online with friends, don't play with anybody from Korea. I'll say that much. Like, they're really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So just give us some background, Fifi, of the game. What the kind of the storyline is about.
Well, the storyline picks up in such a way that you command a human-based army from the first StarCraft, and the idea of just defeating evil aliens from taking over your planet. Now in StarCraft 2, you're much later on in the future, and the idea is that you're still fighting across the aliens and so forth as the storyline progresses, but you're on their home turf. You're on their planet now, going after them. So you have to build armies and so forth. And how it picks up is that they're also trying to take over different planets. So you have certain objectives of how you want to divulge yourself. Like, do you want to go after the main aliens, or do you want to conquer another planet and then try and progress or seek their help and go to the other planet and help grow your army? And Heart of the Swarm, what takes place is that you play as from the alien side point of view, as well as with impressed graphics and more cooler equipment to be used with along with your army.
As always, and it's such a visual treat, that game. I mean, the graphics are beautiful. It's so welcoming. You just want to play it. You just want to dive into that universe again. So, like, it's a fantastic game.
I'm not going to lie to you. One of the main reasons why I put this game on, me besides being a big fan, and also Fifi Prosper, obviously Valentine's Day is coming up, and I want something with a heart in it. So this is a great, like, I would think this is a great online
Well, let me tell you something.
Play.
This is not the game that you would want to give away.
Fifi, tell us about the look of this heroine. Is she kind of in the vogue of...
You know, she's very edgy. She's very in your face. She has a very strong attitude about her, and, you know, she's out there to take care of business, which is the most important thing.
She's sitting in the Game On room right now.
Yeah, she's here in the Game On room. Hi, everyone.
Right, so, you know, Lara Croft-ish, or very different to that?
With her own twist, with her own style, you know? Like, there's a certain edge to both of them, both being very strong female protagonists, but like, female characters, but very, this one has her own spirit about her, if you will.
Do keep in mind that this is an expansion pack, so for you to play this expansion pack, you have to own the original StarCraft 2 game.
Okay.
Right. But I'm just going to say that once this expansion pack does come out, a lot of people are going to be actually standing in line. They're going to be looking forward to it. They're going to be installing it on their PCs and Mac. I advise people, get a hard server for this game, because it's going to be really tough.
So this is purely to play on computer?
This is purely to play on computer. And like,
let's go back to that one.
Last week we were saying that PC games were the past and not the future.
Hey, look, I'm not denying that they're not. What I'm only saying is that they're on a downward turn. Many people out there, unlike very few select PC games, people are not going to get into the whole PC market.
Could they not make this game for consoles?
They could, but to be honest, even me preferably, I would definitely want to play it on a PC Mac, mainly because of the idea.
Hold the presses. Did we hear Samit just say, no, this will be on, he prefers to play it on PC?
Yeah, no, the reason, awesome. Only reason being, only because I need to use a mouse.
Yeah.
If I could use a mouse on a console, I would definitely want to do it. And it's one of those games that's designed in such a way that you want to carry it with you. I mean, to be honest, if they can put this on an iPad, I would definitely play it on an iPad. Just the idea of controlling from your hand gestures and so forth, that's the real way to play this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's hear from the guys that made it then. From StarCraft 2, is this going to be out soon?
This will be out within this month, I think 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now. StarCraft 2, here's the developers.
So for Heart of the Swarm at BlizzCon, some of the new things that we announced were the brand new units. We have 3 new units for Protoss, we have 2 new units for Zerg, and we also have 3 new units for Terran. And so that's not to say that Zerg are getting shortchanged at all, but they have a lot of changes going to the Ultralisk and also to the Corruptor as well. And one of the other things that we announced is Blizzard Dota is something that we started from the ground up again and brought it all the way back, and we have it playable with brand new heroes, brand new mechanics, and a lot of fun. Having Sarah Kerrigan as a female protagonist in our game is something that, you know, we've always wanted to tell her story in regards to, you know, having Raynor start the story and talking about the Terrans and his little Raynor's Raiders, and we wanted to start it on a very small scale and then kind of start to grow it into an evolution. And moving to Sarah Kerrigan, at this point, since she's no longer the Queen of Blades, she's very confused, she's very angry, and, you know, she's kind of coping with the fact that she's part Terran but then still part Zerg, or is she? And ultimately, through the course of Heart of the Swarm, one of the decisions that she makes is she decides to embrace the Zerg, and she decides she wants to bring the Brood Queens back under her control. So, you know, one of the options at BlizzCon that you have is you can go to the ice planet of Calder, and you can get the Nefesh Brood back, or one of the other options is you can go to Char, and you can fight against a rogue queen by the name of Zagar, who doesn't believe that you are the true Queen of Blades, and you can fight against her and bring her back under your fold as well. I think one of the things that has made StarCraft just such a big focus of esports is the balance of the game. That, you know, in having 3 different races, having the balance between 3 different ones, it's very difficult to reach, and that's something that we've been able to hit. The Zerg has the ability to mutate units very quickly. It also has strength in numbers, so you can make a lot of units and you can overrun the enemy, and so that's kind of one of their great strengths. For the Terrans have the ability to have mobility, so they can kind of move all over the place. They have also a lot of versatility that their units can transform into different modes. That, for instance, you might have a siege tank that can deploy in the siege mode, and as opposed to being a standard tank, it now has the ability to shell from long range. The Protoss are psychic warriors, and the Protoss are units that you have fewer of them, but each of the individual numbers are much stronger. So, for instance, one Zealot, which is the base warrior for the Protoss, can stand up against two different Zerglings. Yeah, so one of the decisions that we made early on is we wanted to split the StarCraft storyline into a trilogy. You know, we had this, it was a very hard meeting, but it was a meeting with our team, and we were discussing, we had so much story that we wanted to tell with StarCraft. We had the option of doing the traditional route of having 10 Terran missions, 10 Zerg missions, 10 Protoss missions, and we felt that with the amount of story we wanted to tell, it really didn't do it justice. So ultimately what we decided to do is we wanted to start with the Terran campaign, tell that side of the story, and then move on to the Zerg. And we can kind of tell that from a different perspective in continuing the same storyline, as opposed to looking for money, looking for, you know, more guns, starting a rebellion. That you're talking about mutations, you're talking about just feral Zerg out there that are taking over planets and overrunning the universe, and ultimately we'll finish up the story in Legacy of the Void when we get there.
Okay, coming back with our look at the world of games, a couple of texts and also a tweet come along. We'll start with our text regarding basketball games for the PS Vita. Ray would like to know if there's anything like NBA 13 that's available on the Vita. Have you played any?
Yeah, I have played NBA 13, and that's actually the best one to play. And surprisingly enough, the only one.
Is it available on the Vita?
It is available on the Vita. What I would suggest, if you can, since the Vita, if you haven't updated it, update it and check out the PlayStation Network store. And there'll be tons of games up there for specifically to sports, particular. But to basketball, ever since the lockdown and so forth, like there's not really a lot of NBA games out there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And PSN have been trying to keep like they're always getting new games.
Exactly.
They're always making everyone happy.
What I would suggest for him is that if he's up for classics, go to like download old PS1 games and like try and find like NBA Jam and stuff to play. I think for me those are always fun.
All right.
I think we've got a tweet there. Fifi.
Yeah, of course. We got a tweet. We got a tweet from from @Rami_Z8, and of course he hashtagged he added me at Fifi Prosper, and he agrees, saying StarCraft is hopefully will take over Black Ops 2, which I really hope so.
We have the support.
Absolutely, and of course if anyone wants to get in touch with me, hit us up at Fifi Prosper on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the social media.
Salma says, go girl, Fifi. Obviously loves having a female gamer on our show.
Thank you so much, Salma.
PC is obsolete. Sorry, these guys are amateurs. There's obviously a real kind of hotbed here. I mean, you were mentioning, Fifi, that some of these computers that gamers use, you know, are massive kind of units.
Absolutely. Like The video card of some
right.
The video cards right now are becoming as big as the CPUs themselves.
That's
and like
true.
There's such a huge audience for PC gaming, and I'm a big PC gamer as well, and I'm a big console gamer as well. So to say obsolete was a little bit of a strong word, maybe
I think
from
embrace them all.
I didn't say obsolete. You said obsolete. I didn't say obsolete.
I just think that there's a huge audience for PC gamers, and not just that, like PCs in general are always updated. They have better graphics. They have better everything. And just because they're not selling, if you see the stands, if you go to gaming places and you see stands of like the PC games, obviously they're not as much as Xbox, and there's not as much on the PS, because most people buy their content digitally. Like they buy their game off Steam.
Okay, another nice question coming in here from Neo. This is quite interesting. I stopped gaming 10 years ago. Now, the last one I played, he says, was Quake 3. If I want to get back to gaming, which one of the kind of the same genre of game would you recommend?
Unreal Tournament, for sure. Huh? Team Fortress 2. That's King Sparkileptic in the background. I didn't show a little support, but yeah, Team Fortress 2, Portal. I think any of the Half-Life, the orange box.
Maybe Portal would be an excellent game, and that could be downloaded off. You could play it on the PS. No, you could play Portal 2 on the PS, but definitely you could play it on the PC. Portal is an excellent puzzler, and it's all about trying to figure your way out of certain rooms. So I would say go for that. That's an excellent
It's a puzzle first-person shooter. And I must say, I think the best collection for him to get for a price of it, if he can still find it, is Half-Life Orange Box, where you get Half-Life 1, Half-Life 2, Team Fortress 2, Portal.
Yeah, that's a fantastic package.
Tell us a bit about Quake 3, which is the last game he played.
Oh, Quake 3 is a classic game that came out, like you said, 10 years ago, if anything. And it's a first-person shooter. It came out for the PC. It came out later on for consoles as well. And has picked up quite a lot. But sadly enough, the Quake franchise has not really progressed as far because there's so many first-person shooters out there. Not to mention that the engine that it runs on, the Unreal Engine, is constantly being updated into better graphics and better environments. So there's not going to be another Quake till they actually update the next engines and so forth.
All right, I want to squeeze this in. Of course, one of the big events last year for sure was Video Games Live here in Dubai. It was a real blast to hear the music played so well from video games. And Sumi, I believe that's going to be returning.
The Video Games Live is returning, and I'm happy to announce that officially Video Games Live, it's marked on their website, videogameslive.com. It's on the Facebook page as well, and it's going to be out everywhere very shortly. Video Games Live Dubai is coming November 15th this year at the Dubai World Trade Center.
Fantastic.
It's so exciting. I'm doing a little dance here. It's we're so looking forward to it.
It's going to be a brand new show with new celebrities, new acts, new music, and all that jazz. And we want to throw it out to the fans out there that if you have questions, queries, or even suggestions of who you want to bring down, what tracks you want to hear, what acts are you expecting, and so forth, please hit us up on our Facebook page, Video Games Live ME. And just go to facebook.com/videogameslive.me, ME as in Middle East, and put it up there right now.
Great. That's if you love the music of video games. Another message come along on the PC debate. Let's not forget the insane FPS rates on a PC rig, Alienware, etc. What do you think about that?
Well, I know exactly what he's talking about. He's talking about the speed rates and the reaction rate as compared to a PC compared to a console. Yeah, sure. The beauty part of a PC is that you can tweak it, you can get it ready and stuff.
Yeah, you can customize it, you can update it.
That's true.
Every time new technology comes out.
But Fifi, what I'm going to say though, okay, you mentioned graphics card as big as a CPU, right? How much would that cost you?
It's definitely for the upscale gamer who definitely enjoys it and likes putting his money into it.
You can't I personally would not call that person a hardcore intense gamer, because first of all, not many games do come out for the PC as they would for the console. There are much more games out for console nowadays. That's one. Second of all, the idea of sitting down straight up on a proper screen, sure, you can connect it to your TV and so forth. Yeah, that's fine. But even the idea of sitting up and like, you're not really going to play every game with a keyboard. So you're technically buying a controller to connect to your PC. You kind of are tweaking it to make it look like a console. You kind of are.
Okay, well, I'm going to jump in there. Thank you for your text. We've kind of heard the last. I think we got another
we got another tweet from @Isa Aghabi. And he's saying, Fifi Prosper, what about PS4? What should we expect? So what do you guys think? I mean, the PS4 is coming up, and I'm
new
personally
colour.
so excited
I'd like
about
a real funky colour.
Oh, yeah.
Or a range of colours.
A range of colours.
Well, personally speaking, I think Blu-ray will still be there. But I think it'll be a next higher version of Blu-ray. It'll support 4K. For sure. I think PS4K, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it'll be backwards compatible, though. I mean, that'll kill off the PS3. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think it will be, but only download. Only on digital download.
Yeah, I think it's a very touchy subject, this backwards compatibility issue, because if they do release backwards compatible games, and it's backwards compatible, obviously, then it kills off the PS3. Why buy the PS3 games anymore you could just buy it on the PS4, you know? So
and I think people invest a lot of money in games.
Absolutely.
And if you can't play it on the next console, it's a big downer.
Yeah, and a lot of people are anticipating, they have a lot of question marks, and they're treading very slowly and cautiously with this new PS4, even the new Xbox.
I think the biggest thing that we're going to see in the PS4 is the new controller. I think everybody's excited more about it because the DualShock officially is dead. Like everybody's bored of it. It's not. They need to come up with a new design. I think the PS4 controller is going to be the biggest difference of all.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are a lot of images of what it may look like on the internet.
Exactly.
The whole the boomerang. There's a whole touch thing instead of it being like the buttons. I mean, it's all up in the air. And we're so excited.
What's the date
coming
again?
soon. February
20th is the announcement, so we'll know more then.
I know I'm staying up late. It's going to be released at 4 in the morning.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely staying up late.
Well, thank you all for your messages and tweets. If people want to follow you guys with your reviews, Fifi?
At Fifi Prosper. Follow me, and also check out www.youtube.com/The Region 2 Show. We have a lot of competitions. We have a lot of reviews. And, of course, The Region 2 Show, the number 2.
Great, and Samit?
The way I see it, if you want to check more stuff about Game On, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/GameOn.ae, or visit our Video Games Live page, facebook.com/VideoGamesLiveME.